Okay, so Volkswagen just unveiled pricing and the release date of their brand new bus. And if Tesla does something like this, holy crap, okay? Now, let me show you this post from Sawyer Merritt on X where he breaks down all the details around this announcement. In case you're not familiar, this is the ID Buzz. It's based on the ID4 platform, which is the Volkswagen SUV that they have out and about. This is an interior shot, so on and so forth. Pretty cool looking vehicle, but this one is based on the old school bus, and you can see it kind of in the background here, just chilling. This was a huge hit. Over here in Austin, I've seen them as food trucks before, which is super sick. But the really important thing here is that this is really filling a market that needs to be filled in the United States. This 3-row, almost quasi SUV, but just some sort of people hauler in an electric vehicle form factor. Some details around this van. It starts at $60,000. The most expensive trim starts at $70,000. It has 234 miles of range on the rear-wheel drive setting, 231 for all-wheel drive on a 91 kilowatt-hour battery, and it does start delivering at the end of 2024. Some of the highlights from a feature perspective is that it is a 7-seater with a 2-3-2 setup. So basically 2 people in the front, 3 in the middle, 2 in the back. And the second row is a bench with easy entry and a 60/40 split fold. It has a 13-inch screen, which is kind of small for a car in this class, but better to have a screen than not have a screen, in my opinion, and a bunch of other stuff as well. But the really big thing here that I really like about this car is that it really starting to deliver on what electric vehicles are meant to do in the first place, which is to maximize the packaging of a car and to really create products that stand alone from the rest of the car market. Very similar to how it was back in the day with this Volkswagen bus, but this thing had the tiniest little engine back here. I don't know if you can see it on my mouse, but the tiniest little engine. This thing is going to have a massive battery on the bottom and 2 motors driving the front and rear, which is going to give it so much more power than this bus used to have back in the day. Now, I think there's a chance that Tesla unveils this van competitor on October 10th, which is the new date of the Robotaxi unveil. Initially, it was on August 8th, but it was delayed to 10/10, according to Elon Musk, because of some changes they had to do from a hardware perspective. Now, this van has been sort of speculated ever since Investor Day back in 2023 with Tesla. There is this freaking van, I don't know what else this would be, right above the Cybertruck. And this could also imply that, hey, if they were to release this van, it could be on the same platform as the Cybertruck. And so we know for a fact that Tesla is working on this. The question becomes, when are they going to release it and what is it going to look like? I really think this ID Buzz is going to be something similar to this. Now, where Tesla is going to have a huge differentiator versus a company like Volkswagen is threefold. Number one, given that Tesla is profitable with an electric vehicle business, they're going to be able to sell this product likely for much cheaper than Volkswagen could and still make a profit. Especially if you compare Tesla's existing lineup, especially around the Model 3 and the Model Y, their SUV and their sedan. If you take those cars and compare it to the competitors, not only are you often getting a cheaper car than you could from somebody else, you're also getting a lot more features. And that's, again, because they have a decade plus of manufacturing expertise that they've thrown at their product. Whereas this car starts at $60,000, which I still think it's a pretty good price. I wish it was a little bit cheaper. This thing's going to sell like crazy regardless. Don't get me wrong. This is a freaking sick product. But Tesla's differentiator is that they're going to be able to potentially sell it for much cheaper. Number two is that they're going to be able to leverage the self-driving technology with full self-driving. If you've been following that story, the latest versions of full self-driving utilizing an end-to-end neural network with version 12 have been performing significantly better than their previous versions. So much so that I've never seen so many people that used to hate the software and I use it all the time because it's legitimately useful in city settings, even for people that are not enthusiasts of the technology. And so this thing's going to continue to get better. And imagine this in a van form factor for freaking road trips, okay? Where you don't even have to potentially pay attention down the road. Once they remove the supervising of the road, right? You can just kind of kick back and relax in a van, and then take it even further down the road when they do have full self-driving, actually full self-driving robotaxi. Could this be their sort of massive people hauler or their super party van where nobody has to pay attention to the road and it's just, you know, it becomes a party bus of sorts where nobody has to be DD? That's one use case for it potentially. But for road trips, I think it would be a huge differentiator. And then number three, because the CEO of Tesla, Elon Musk, also owns SpaceX, which runs Starlink, which is a satellite internet company. And now they're starting to release these sort of small satellites that you can put on top of your car, or the technology they're using for airplanes, where airplanes now have amazing internet because of Starlink, or ships or whatever. But you very well could take that same exact technology, plop it on the bus, and then all of a sudden you have high-speed broadband anywhere you go. So this becomes a ridiculous camping type vehicle, a ridiculous vehicle for super long road trips or people that just want to live the van life. You don't even have to worry about internet because it comes with the car. There's just so many awesome use cases for this vehicle, and it's in a market that's completely untapped. Not just from existing vans, like for work vans or for leisure vans, let's say. This is the perfect use case for an electric vehicle. And so I really hope Tesla unveils something like this. I really think Volkswagen has a hit on its hands. Hopefully they can make this profitably. Perhaps not the cheapest vehicle, but it should qualify for the EV tax credit, which will lower it by another $7,500. And then starting with their 2025 model, I'm assuming it will have the NACS port, the North American Charging Standard, which means that it will come out of the box. So basically when you buy it with the right plug, so you can plug into the supercharger network, right? And so they're a year away potentially from lowering the cost, making it better, and having North American Charging Standard on the van. And this thing becomes, I think this probably becomes the best-selling non-Tesla in the United States. I think this vehicle has the potential to sell a lot more than Rivian is selling right now. And Rivian makes a sick pickup truck and a sick SUV. But man, this thing is so sick. This thing is so sick. And I'm growing increasingly confident, especially if we look at this picture and the pictures that they showed not too long ago when they did their shareholder meeting this year, where they sort of reinforced this picture, this van-like car that's under the large car segment. This thing is probably coming out way sooner than we think. And I really hope, come on, Elon, if you're watching this, 1010. You said it yourself. You're preparing to show other stuff. And real quick before you go, if you have a Tesla with hardware 3, these cars should now start getting the latest version of FSD 12.5.1.4. How many numbers do you need? Which means that cars like mine, like my 2021 Model Y, should now experience the latest version of Full Self-Driving, which is getting rave reviews from everybody. There has been this sort of wait time for them to move that specific software from hardware 4 to hardware 3. And there's been this pause to see if Tesla was actually going to support this. We've talked about this a lot on this channel. And it looks like with this version, finally, hardware 3 cars will start getting FSD 12.5. Once I get it on mine, I'll put a bunch of videos on the channel on its performance. And once my dad gets it on his car, he lives in New Jersey, then I'm also going to reach out to him and see if we can make some videos together. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more content like this, subscribe. And if you want to support the channel, links in the description below. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.